so I headed out with the four-wheeler like every other morning. You know, I did it all summer, and I went out to feed the steers we have out in the pasture about 3 miles away from home. On my way back is when don't really know what happened, but fell into a hole, or I hit something large and it rolled me over and kind of blacked out from there. Then I remember waking up and the whole body was hurting. But and then I just kind of thought I'd get up and shake it off and get back on the four-wheeler and go home. And I got up, and that's when I realized that I broke my leg. Luckily, I had my cell phone. I was able to call my mom and dad, and they came out, and we got splinted and went to the hospital. But it was definitely broken because your shin doesn't bend like that, It was a pretty severe break where it was at a pretty good slant where the cast didn't hold the break, so I had to get plates and screws put in. But I ended up with infection, and then I actually got 3 more infections, and my last one was MRSA, which was the worst one I had. The other 3 were staph, and that killed the bone. I was tired of dealing with infection, which made me feel like crap all the time, and back and forth on being sick and not. So, and then I was tired of being in crutches too. So I ended up, me and my family decided to go with the amputation. I never thought I'd have to make, it'd be hard for anyone else, and anyone else that does have to, I feel for them. It's just, no one should have to, but it was what I was dealt with, and you take that to the positive side and you work at it.
Some ATVs are meant to have multiple riders, others are not. And if they're not, if you think about the way that an ATV turns, you turn the steering handle on there, but you also lean into the turn. If your second rider does not lean into the turn and actually leans the other way, it can pull the ATV over center and roll it over, or that second person can fall off. If you take a look on the rack, both on the front and the rear of the ATV, it has a weight capacity that's on there. And it's important to stay underneath that weight capacity because what you're doing is you're changing your center of gravity with that, which are going to make steering and braking more difficult. ATVs were meant to be off-road, on the gravel, on the unlevel surfaces. If you put an ATV on concrete or blacktop and you get it up at speed, it's going to be like a pig on ice. It has a difficult time steering and a difficult time braking. So where you're using that ATV is going to be a critical component for your safety. Age appropriateness for kids on ATVs, of course they make smaller sized ATVs for children, but you need to take a look at the child and what chores you're asking them to do and what the proper size is, and making sure that you're not putting them into a situation that they can't handle.
I played my sophomore year. That was just 9 months after I had my amputation done, so that was pretty fast. But I played my sophomore year and started at fullback and middle linebacker and had a blast. It was the funnest thing I did since back from my surgery or had my leg amputated. I also played baseball too, so it's fun. Sports, they're one of my passions with farming, and both of them I'm not gonna let my leg, stop me from doing it. So I did what it takes to go do it. Me and my friends do go four-wheeling. Even after the accident, I still love to. They're fun, and they're made for that. They're made for work too. Just make sure you're being safe. You don't want this to happen. Because when you're being safe, you should have less problems and less worries.